Alright guys, hello and welcome to Hats Off, or more specifically, the Hats Off 1000 subscriber Q&A special. It is nuts thinking about how quickly my channel has started to grow. And I know it might not seem quick for a lot of people, but like from 44 subscribers to like 1,000 in like a little over half a year, I think that's nuts, and I am super happy to like experience this. Like YouTube lately has been really fun for me. I've made a bunch of good friends on YouTube so far, and I've even gotten to work with like people I've admired with for for a decade. Like I got to work with I got to talk to the Stuttering Craig, who's like one of my biggest inspirations, and I was part of one of the best animation collaborations on YouTube. So today I'm going to take some time out and answer some of the questions you guys have for me. This is going to be unscripted. It's kind of off the cuff, just so I can be as, sincere as I possibly can be. So without further ado, let's start the Q&A. Alright, first question is by Micah Camp, a super good friend of mine and the leader of my D&D campaign. You should go check him out, he makes good stuff. He's working on a video game right now. So the question is, what is the making of the video process like, and what software do you use? Alright, so for the software I use Sony Vegas 16. I used to use a really awful combination of Vegas, After Effects, and Flash to get the effect I wanted. But it was a lot of hard work going through like 3 different programs just for one video, so I streamlined it all to Vegas. And as for how long the videos take, like from start to finish in the process, it takes like maybe an hour to an hour and a half to write the script, and then like half an hour to an hour to edit the audio, and then anywhere from 3 to 6 hours to make a video. Researching the topic can vary though, like that takes anywhere from 1 day to like a week, depending on how familiar I am with the subject. Like the Screw Attack video took a while to research. Even though I'm super familiar with Screw Attack, I had to find like all those different facts and look through all these different websites and articles. Like that took a while. Next up we have a question from Trent, another really good artist, and I've spoken to him a few times. He's pretty cool. I love that guy. And his question is, do you have an art plan? I'm pretty sure he's asking me this because of what I asked him on his podcast, but it's cool. So yeah, I do have a plan. Like, I would love to work in animation or comics, to be honest. Like, okay, so like, animation is one of my favorite things ever, but like, comics are my favorite thing ever. And it's because like, with animation, it takes so long to get your product out and your story out. And like, I love animation. It's great. It's irreplaceable. But with comics, like, you could be one person and you can get your whole story out, and that's super cool to me. But I do think that ultimately my job will end up in animation. Like, I want to be a character designer, and that's pretty much my goal right there, is to do character designs for different shows. And maybe one day, show run my own show. That'd be pretty fun. Next up we have one from Cash, another good friend of mine and fellow member of the BCC. He asks, what are some games you enjoyed when you were younger? Bonus points if it's on a Sega system. Alright, so like my first system was a Sega system. Like my first official system was a Sega Genesis, and I grew up playing Sonic and Streets of Rage and Shinobi. And I think the game I enjoyed the most when I was little was probably Sonic 2. Like, I played that religiously. Also Streets of Rage, because that was my game. And when I learned there were sequels, oh, it was over. And now I'm having fun with Streets of Rage 4, because that game's great. Took a while to get here, but it's beautiful and I love it. Next up, we have one from my guy GeekTunes. Did you have any previous ideas on the aesthetic for HatsOffMedia? Love your vids, keep them coming. Thanks, GeekTunes. I love your vids too. Yeah, I did have some ideas for like what I wanted my videos to look like before I decided on this look. Like, I had like the standard cartoon avatar for a while, and then I kind of wanted to go for like a pixel art look, and yeah, they didn't really work out. In fact, I would call them ugly. But now I've settled on this, and I don't think I'm going to be changing this anytime soon. I love how I look. So I got this question from 2 people, both the Dan the Man Show and my buddy Mr. Nostalgia, who you should also go check out. What made you decide on the puppet look? So there's this game I really like called Battle Block Theater, and for their cutscenes they usually go with like this little stick puppet thing that I super love. Like, they were always like the funniest cutscenes, so I was just like, everyone's making like cartoon stills or just showing up in person. How can I stand out? So I took that and I put my own little spin on it and that's how I got my look. Also, I just love like the contrast between like cartoon characters and like real objects, and it's hilarious. Like, you know, like in SpongeBob and stuff. So like whenever I have my character like holding things or doing stuff, they always have like a real object, and that's hilarious. Alright, Ask Air asks me, that was hard to say, why'd you make me do that? But he asks, Disney or Pixar? DreamWorks, but if I had to choose between Disney or Pixar, I'd probably go with Disney, but this is only taking into account like recent times. Like, if you had asked me like 10 years ago, then yeah, I would have been like Disney all the way. But the reason I say DreamWorks is because lately Pixar and Disney films have been looking a little samey, and I really hate when animation starts to stagnate, so I still like that DreamWorks will still experiment. But lately Disney's been picking up a little bit lately. Pixar kinda hasn't for me. Like, the movies are still quality, but like, they look boring. I want to see cool, weird animation styles. So yeah, but overall, right now, Disney. Frozen sucks though. Alright, Silly Rally asks, favorite video game of all time, go. Yakuza 0, because Yakuza pretty much represents everything I stand for. Just as a person. Like, Yakuza is me, the video game. Or at least like my thought process, or like, you know, like my wants. I teeter between like super cool action manly man stuff and like super wacky, dumb, stupid video game stuff. So Yakuza fits me to a T. Prince Locks asks, when am I gonna stop holding my DJ hostage? Look, once you work in entertainment, you know how hard it is to find a good DJ, so if you find one, you keep him. Shadex asks, what inspired you to make Hats Off such a unique series? Also, is the DJ okay? Why are you guys so worried about my DJ? Worry about your own DJs. So if you're familiar with my channel, you notice that I skip around a lot in terms of topics. Like, I think overall, my channel is mostly about animation, but I talk about animation, I talk about comics, I talk about websites, I talk about pretty much anything I want to. And I think I do that so I don't get bored, because if I was just covering cartoon after cartoon, or like just the new stuff or just the old stuff, I wouldn't really be having fun. But I treat Hats Off as a place where I can like talk about whatever I want to. So I'll talk about a stupid book, or I'll talk about a cereal website, or I'll talk about the history of one of my favorite websites. And I think that's what gives my channel like that unique flavor, and like you never know what you're gonna get when you come to Hats Off. So that's pretty much why. I don't want to be bored. I hate being bored. Alright, Amateur Planet asks, do you ever have problems with perfectionism when putting your videos together? Follow up, how far in advance do you think you know it is you want to make your next video about? I don't really have a problem with perfectionism because I am perfect, so it's natural for me. But on a serious note, you know, I try to make my videos look good, and I try to make them look, you know, better with each one, and I think so far I've been keeping up with that. I've pretty much figured out how to make my videos at this point, which is why they've been coming out like faster. But I'm always trying to give them a little extra oomph. As for how far in advance do I know what my next video is going to be about? Like, that depends on the day. Like, I have a list of video topics that I want to make videos about, but more often than not, I just pick a topic that day and I sit down and start making the video. Like, you guys would be disgusted when you figure out how spur of the moment my videos are. Like that Annie Malou video, I was just talking with some of my friends, and like I found her randomly, and I was just like, oh, I'm gonna go make a video on that real quick, bye. And then I went to go make a video on it, and it came out, and it did pretty well, so I'm happy about that. So yeah, I try and think ahead, but more often than not, I don't. Bry asks, do I watch all these people? I do watch Scott the Woz, and I watch Arlo, and I watch Antu, and I watch Nitro Rad. I used to watch Kadikarus, but I kinda fell off of him. I'm sure he's still fine. Peanut Butter Gamer doesn't really do it for me anymore. Like, I don't know, it seems like his content is like skewing more towards the younger side. And for me, the completionist kind of lost the plot a little bit. Like, it's weird because like the aesthetic of his videos don't really match the tone of them, and that kind of throws me off now. And I don't know who Nathaniel Bandy is. So I don't watch them. Alright, so for Parrot Plays, it's when did you get interested in cartoon and anime? I don't know. Like, I've been watching cartoons for as long as I can remember, and like, I think with anime it's pretty much the same way. Though I didn't really get super into anime until like, maybe like middle school? Like I didn't start watching like subbed anime for a while. Like, I remember the first subbed anime I watched was Blue Exorcist, which is, you know, it's alright. I like it. I said love? I love it, whatever. So yeah, I've been watching it for quite a while. Animation is Key asks, what got you inspired to make videos? I think pretty much what got everyone inspired to make videos, like, you know, the old days of, like, I used to do Let's Plays with my friends, and, like, I did that because I was like, everyone's doing Let's Plays, let's do Let's Plays, we can make some quick money, and we tried to do it, and our schedules didn't really allow for us to do that all the time, so, you know, that kind of fizzled out. But mostly what inspired me was stuff like Angry Video Game Nerd and Nostalgic Critic and, like, all that kind of stuff, and I was just like, maybe I should do a show about video games. I love video games. But you know, then I like started finding people like Pan Pizza, and I super love his stuff. And then I found like people on Channel Awesome who were mostly focused on cartoons. And I guess over time I realized that I kind of care about like animation more than video games. So I decided to switch my focus. And so now I'm doing this. And I think it's been going pretty well so far. So I'm gonna keep doing this. J-Rock asks, what is your opinion on Kabillion? I don't really have one. Like, I watched a little bit of it. Like, when I was younger, Kabillion was the place where you went to, like, watch, like, old cartoons like Bobby's World. And also, like, Totally Spies and Hero 108 for some reason. Which is a weird show because I don't think I like it, but I really like watching it. So it's confusing. But it was mostly just a channel I went to see like season 5 of Code Lyoko because that wasn't on Cartoon Network, so it's pretty cool. Sartolo Doodles asks, do you want to be a character designer? Yes I do. Character design is my favorite thing. I love character design. Backgrounds are the devil, even though I super love them. I don't like making them, but I love them. But yes, I would love to be a character designer. You can check out my work on Twitter. Hire me if you want to. Aurora asks, favorite cartoon character of all time? Now this one's a little tricky because like favorite cartoon character, right? Like is this including like anime? Is this including like adaptations? Because like if we're going like all in like adaptation wise, like my favorite cartoon character is the DCAU version of Batman because that is like he's perfect. I love that version of Batman. He's hilarious. He's cool. He's funny. He's awesome. It's Batman. This is when I think of Batman, I think of that character. Well, when I think of any DC character, my head goes like straight to like the DCAU. So he is my favorite cartoon character of all time, like overall. But I guess if we're talking like plain old, like got my start in cartoons or whatever, like I guess that would have to be maybe Samurai Jack. But I'll have to think about this. I'll get back to you. Psycho Does Stuff asks, why are you so sexy? I don't know. Blinded Journeyman asks, what is your favorite cartoon? Or what is your favorite anime? My favorite cartoon of all time is Samurai Jack. Hands down, no question, nothing will ever sway me on that. Samurai Jack is perfection. It goes through like every genre and nails them. It has like some of the best characters I've ever seen. It's like one of the best looking cartoons I've ever seen. Like before like the last season came out, I probably wouldn't be able to like say a criticism. Like it's perfect to me. I love it. The last season's not perfect. It has problems, but those first 3 episodes are perfect. Especially the second episode of like the last season. That is a perfect piece of TV. As for a favorite anime, that changes every day. So like some of my absolute favorites are Lucky Star, Gurren Lagann, and Hunter x Hunter. Kinda basic, but whatever, sue me. Ethan Sutton asks, how are you? Also, I love your channel. Thanks, Ethan. I'm fine. I love you too. Let's be best friends. Bye. Heebs Boy asks, what was the first show/movie that made you fall in love with animation? So again, I want to talk about Samurai Jack. Samurai Jack was what made me decide, yes, I would like to work in animation. Like, cause, man, again, it's perfect to me. And like looking at that, I'm just like, oh, I want to make something like that. I want to make someone feel the same way I feel when I'm watching Samurai Jack. And like for movie, this one's different. Cause like, I remember like a while back when I was just starting college, I was fed up with like animated movies. Like I hated like CGI movies. Like I was so sick of looking at them. I just wanted something different. And then I saw, you're gonna laugh at me, but I saw Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs 2, and I was just like, whoa, hold on a sec. CGI can move like this? Like that was the first time in a while that I had seen CGI characters move like cartoons. Like, I'm not knocking Pixar or anything, but like, you know how a Pixar character moves. It gets boring after a while. But like in Clover Chance Meatball 2, like they were like flipping and flopping and squishing and it was nuts. And I was like, you know what? Maybe I am wrong. Maybe CGI is cool. So like that kind of got me to like start watching CGI movies again. So you know, whatever. Grumpachew asks, how old is my intern? I'm sorry, I don't understand the question. Period asks, what inspired your character / persona of the little guy with the hat? This guy comments on a lot of my videos. I like him, though I don't remember your name being Period, but I recognize the avatar, so, you know. I don't know. Like I said before, Battle Block inspired a lot of my look, and I just like hats. I wear a lot of hats, both figuratively and literally, so that's pretty much what inspired it. Can a guy just like hats? Manuel asks, what inspires you to make videos? Like I mentioned before, like Nostalgia Critic and like Pan Pizza and all those people, but I think overall, like the person who like inspires me to like make videos and like actually to just create in general is James Ralph, or you know, the Angry Video Game Nerd. Like I was in a creative slump when I was in high school, and like I was just like I was trying my best, but like stuff wasn't turning out the way I wanted it to because I was still learning how to draw and I was still learning how to do stuff. So I was like, this is going really slow. So I was using like, I was just ripping sprites off the internet and putting that into like stuff I was making. So I was like, oh, if I can't draw, I'll just take the art I need. But one day I watched a video that James Ralph made called Cinemassacre 200, which was pretty much just like a look into his life as a creator. And I saw like all the stuff he did to try and get his messages across. Like, he was making movies when he was like a little kid with like the crudest methods, but they were clever, and he was coming up with them on the spot. And I was just like, yo, James Ralph is trying so hard, and he's been working so long at trying to improve his craft, and here I am ripping sprites off the internet. Like, no shade if you do that, but like, I was like, I can't, if I'm not giving my all, then who the heck am I to complain? So like, James Ralph is like my favorite person. Like, you don't have to like his videos or anything, but man, James Ralph is like, he's like the only internet dude who has no dirt on him. I love James Ralph. Man, if James Ralph ever gets canceled, I'm quitting YouTube. So, you know, just a warning. Samurai Trainer Z asks, do you like toku shows like Power Rangers? Oh, I don't know if I like toku shows. I don't know, it's almost like I made a video about a toku show and no one watched it. Would you know anything about that, Veritas Joe?
I wouldn't have the faintest of any idea about that. All I know is pain. Just a lot of pain.
But on a serious note, yes, I do love toku shows. Like, I love Super Sentai, I love Kamen Rider. Kamen Rider Kiva is like my favorite. And I'm working my way through some of the newer stuff. So, I will be covering more toku stuff eventually. Probably with, like, some of my other friends. Like, besides Veritas Joe, I'll probably be working with Chilixion and Cash on some toku stuff coming soon. So, look forward to it. Carrific asks, I love you, D'Angelo. Aw, I love you too, Kerry. Kerry was the alien for our See and Invade It, like, collab. So you should definitely check her out. And also, when will we nap together? Soon, Kerry. Soon. Andre Sosa asks, why did you choose to be a puppet on YouTube? I didn't choose, Andre. It chose me. James asks, is there a cartoon you like because of its art style? Why, yes, there is. I super love My Life as a Teenage Robot's art style. Like, that's in my top 5 art styles. Like, I love, like, the 50s retro look, and, like, just the prop design, all the character design. Like, it's so cool looking. And they got a lot of mileage out of it, too, because, like, all the different, like, ideas they came up with, like, all the weapons. Like, have you looked at the weapon designs in My Life as a Teenage Robot? They're amazing, and they're also unique and creative. But, like, they're simple, too. Like, my favorite kinds of art styles are more on the simple side. Like, I like, even though I don't really draw that way, I should probably try to do that more, but, like, I love, like, geometric styles and, like, styles very heavy on shape. Like, that's my favorite kind of stuff. So, yeah, My Life as a Teenage Robot. Guy asks, favorite Saturday morning cartoon? My favorite Saturday morning cartoon is definitely Shaolin Showdown. Like, it's not my favorite cartoon, but it's my favorite Saturday morning cartoon. Like, Shaolin Showdown, it's like nuts looking back on Shaolin Showdown because it has a lot of production value for a Saturday morning cartoon. Like the way the backgrounds look and the way the characters move, like they made this for Saturday. I got this for free. This wasn't on cable, and it was amazing. And like looking back on it now, it's still hilarious. It's still really good. There's even some touching moments too, and like it's a great show. Go watch Shaolin Showdown. I'll probably review it eventually. Or go check out Mars Reviews video on it. That one's great too. Jonathan Marks Gamer asks, what if the Cartoons brand came back to CN? I don't know, it wouldn't really change much. Like, it's just a brand name. You could easily call like Adventure Time or like Steven Universe Cartoons, and it wouldn't really change much. But if you're talking about like reruns of like the older shows, I think in small doses that would be cool. Cause like, you can't just keep bringing back the old stuff. But like, I think if they sprinkled it in, it would be nice just to give like the channel some spice, you know, some variety. Did I say that word right? Doesn't matter. What's your favorite female protagonist in an animated series from Chan's Random Vlog channel? Does it have to be main character? Because if it's not main character, then my favorite female protagonist is Toph from Avatar. Like, Toph's amazing. And then like she's one of the only characters that actually gets a little better in Korra. Like old lady Toph is like the best character ever. She's like the best part of season 4 of Korra, and she's just fun and cool and tough, and I love her. I love Toph. She's the best. But if you're talking like main character, maybe Kim Possible or like Jenny from like My Life as a Teenage Robot. They're both pretty good too. Also Kipo. I love Kipo. Go watch Kipo. Go watch Man of a Thousand Thoughts video on Kipo. He worked super hard on it, and you guys need to give him more love. Go watch it. Right now. Finish my video first, though. Luma Dreamer asks things I'm hyped about. I think right now the number one thing I'm hyped about is Wakfu Season 4. They just had a Kickstarter, and they hit all their goals, and like, we're going to be getting another 13-episode season. Wakfu is one of my favorite shows ever, especially in terms of world building. Like, Wakfu and One Piece are like two of like my favorite like shows when it comes to world building, because everything, it just feels so lived in and like so well thought out. It feels like a place. So like that's the number one thing I am hyped for is Wakfu. Also like some new stuff coming out, like the new season of Primal I can't wait for, and like a bunch of other stuff. Like animation's been getting interesting lately. Oh man, also Castlevania. I need another season of that soon. So please give me that. Clover asks, what inspired the creation of your YouTube channel? Like I said before, people like James Rolfe and Nostalgia Critic and Pan Pizza. Pretty much, you know, just go back in the video and watch that again. Pretty much that stuff, you know? NixGen95 asks, will we get more villain protagonists in Western animation this decade? I don't know. Like, I don't know. Do you mean like anti-heroes? Like, I guess. Ask them, not me. Naan asks, what anime or manga do I think should get more rave? Or, what anime or manga are my favorites? I think Mar deserves more love. If you haven't heard of Mar, it's like Martian Awakens Romance. Like, it's a pretty standard shonen, but it has some really nice art, and I really love it. Like, I just like the characters and like the cool looking weapons. Like, I love weapon design, so like Mar gives you like super cool weapons. I just like the idea of like having a weapon that like transforms or like summons a different thing. So like Mar delivers in that in spades. So I think Mar needs more love. And I've talked about my favorite animes so far, so I'm going to talk about my favorite mangas. My favorite mangas are Azumanga, which is pretty much like the pinnacle of slice of life, like 4-comma comics. You can't get any better than Azumanga. Zatch Bell is one of my favorite things ever. Like, for me, Zatch Bell, like the guy who makes it, Raikou, he's like one of the only people that can like match like Ichiro Oda, like the guy who makes One Piece. Like he's the only person that can like match his like face, like his face designs. Like Oda makes me laugh with just faces, and Raikou's like the only person that can do that as well. And also Zatch Bell is amazing. Like don't watch the anime. The anime is alright, but like the manga is amazing. It's so well drawn, and like it's made me cry more times than I would like to admit. So go read Zatch Bell, please. Also, finish translating Zatch Bell. Viz stopped at like 5 volumes left to translate, and that's a crime. They should be in jail. And lastly, from Elvin Hernandez, what current trends in animation are you most excited about, and which would you rather see left in the past? This guy was actually my teacher in college, and he's been a super huge support, and besides the fact that he pretty much taught me a lot about how to draw, because, he was my teacher. So, but, he's a cool guy. He's been here since the start of the channel, and he's been singing my praises, and God, if I don't love compliments, so thanks, Hernandez. And as for this question, the trend I am most excited about is that lately we have been getting a lot of adult animation that isn't just comedy. We've been getting stuff like Seis Manos and Castlevania, and that one show on Amazon whose name I forget, but it's super cool looking. And Love, Death, Robots. I think people we are so close to people actually seeing animation as a medium instead of just a genre, because people lump together animation with kids movies, and that's dumb. There are live action kids movies too, but you don't see people calling live action a genre. That's come on. That's why I hate best animated features at the Oscars, because that is the worst category ever created. The fact that it's animated, it should be able to win best action or best comedy or whatever, but best animated feature? That's awful. I hate that. But I really hope that we continue making this super cool adult animation, and not just adult animation, just animation animation can be so much more. And as soon as we figure that out, as soon as it becomes mainstream for people to like animation, we can be getting some super cool stuff later. So I really hope that continues. And as for stuff that I would rather see left in the past, Family Guy clones. I am so sick of them. And it's funny because there's actually one show that I thought was going to be a Family Guy clone, F is for Family. And if anything, F is for Family is the anti-Family Guy, and I'm probably going to be talking about that later. So, hopefully, we stop this Seth MacFarlane nonsense soon. And so, yeah, that does it. I just want to say thank you again, for all the support I've gotten, so far this year. It has been a crazy ride. When I started doing YouTube again, I was at 44 subscribers, I think. And, I was just oh, I guess no one wants to watch my stuff. But, now, I guess it looks like people do want to watch my stuff. At least, over 1,000 people, think that I'm worth checking into. And that's super cool. I love having an audience, because, that means I have more people to discuss the things I like with, and I get more feedback, and like I said before, I do love compliments, so, keep those coming. But it's just been nuts doing this again. I've connected with, so many people, people that are, super good friends of mine now, all because of, YouTube, and, YouTube's kind of, there's stuff to love and hate about YouTube, but, it's just fun being here right now, and I hope you guys continue to love my stuff, and I'm gonna keep on trying to make it better and better, so, don't go anywhere, but, just, thank you.